Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a beautifully complex tale all about sacrifice, duty, and, honestly, the very core of human nature. It starts off with a simple act of sheltering a stranger, but it quickly spirals into this profound, high-stakes test of character under extreme pressure. Now, this question right here, this impossible moral dilemma, sits at the very heart of our story today. I really want you to ask yourself, what would you do if you were in these exact same shoes? It's so easy to be generous when we have plenty, right? But what happens when giving to someone else means that you, or worse, your child, might go without? That's the engine driving this entire narrative. Let's get into it.
Part 1. The Relentless Storm.
Imagine being trapped for 3 whole days. This massive environmental crisis really sets the stage for everything that follows. For 3 continuous days, this unrelenting, torrential rain has just been battering a small village. And inside a tiny, leaking mud house, a daily wage laborer named Ramu is trapped with his wife Gauri and their young son Chotu. Because of the crazy weather, Ramu hasn't been able to go out and earn a single thing. But here's the catch. They aren't alone. Stranded in the deluge the night before, a husband and wife actually knocked on their door looking for shelter. And Ramu, without missing a beat, he let them right in.
Part 2. An Emptying Kitchen.
So this severe isolation brings us to an absolute breaking point. It's this agonizing tug of war between Ramu and his wife Gauri. On one hand, Ramu holds this unyielding dedication to hospitality. He truly believes that turning a guest away into a storm is just an unforgivable sin. But Gauri, she is driven by sheer, desperate maternal instinct. She looks at her kitchen and sees the stark, terrifying reality. The flour tin is basically empty. There's only a tiny handful of lentils left, and they have absolutely zero income. She is terrified about what their little boy is going to eat. It's really not a clash of right and wrong, but of 2 very profound competing responsibilities.
When Gauri expresses her deep shame at having practically nothing left to offer, Ramu reassures her with a beautiful sentiment. He tells her, a poor man's greatest wealth is his heart. He insists that saving their rations by turning away hungry people would just leave their souls permanently empty. Poverty, he argues, is not a crime, but abandoning your humanity, that certainly is. Part 3. The Shared Meal. This ideological stand eventually builds into a deeply emotional confrontation. Gauri steps up to the stove, literally weeping silently so the guests won't hear her, and uses the very last of their supplies to make just 5 rotis. When she serves the guests, Ramu and Gauri actually try to sacrifice their own portions to save face. They smile and claim that they and their son have already eaten. But, well, kids, little Chotu innocently shatters the illusion. He speaks up and blurts out that the flour is totally gone. His parents haven't eaten a single thing. And worst of all, he caught them secretly drinking water in the middle of the night just to kill their hunger pangs. It's just heartbreaking. The guest, hearing this raw truth from a child, is absolutely floored. He completely refuses to eat another bite alone. He looks at Ramu and delivers this incredibly powerful statement. Hunger doesn't make a person small, but turning away from someone's hunger does. He insists that if a family is starving themselves just to uphold his dignity as a guest, he simply cannot eat. So, he breaks his rotis and insists that all 5 of them, guests and hosts alike, sit down and share that meager meal together. Part 4.
The Mysterious Lair.
Just as the emotional tension of that meal starts to settle, the whole vibe shifts from warmth to sudden dread. Out of nowhere, a gust of wind blows the door open, and a wet envelope inexplicably flies right into the room. Inside, a single slip of paper with a chilling warning. Do not try to recognize the guest you have sheltered. No sender's name, nothing. Instantly, the room is thick with suspicion. Who exactly are these strangers they've taken in? Are they fugitives? Gauri is terrified, and the guest just stays quiet, cryptically stating that the truth will come out when the time is right. Desperate for answers and going into full protective mode, Ramu braves the storm to investigate. Throughout the morning and afternoon, he's frantically searching the flooded village. He talks to old Kaka Shambhu, who thought he saw a shadow in the night. He even interrogates a local shopkeeper, Hariram, who mentions some mysterious man wandering around in a black blanket. But despite going all out, as night falls, Ramu comes back completely drenched and entirely empty-handed. The mystery is still wide open. Seeing Ramu's sheer exhaustion and the family's growing panic, the guest decides it's finally time to offer a little reassurance, even if it's not the whole truth. He opens up this wet leather pouch and pulls out a faded childhood photograph. Ramu's eyes go wide. He recognizes the boy in the picture instantly. It's his dear childhood friend, Mohan. The guest explains that Mohan was his late older brother, and it was actually Mohan's old stories of a kind-hearted boy in this village that brought him to their doorstep. So the tension eases a bit, but that letter, still super weird.
Part 5. The Ultimate Test. The following morning, the skies finally clear up. The sun peeks out, and the guest gathers the family in the courtyard for the big reveal. He drops his disguise completely. His real name is Vijay, and he is not some stranded traveler. He's a millionaire with factories and institutions to his name. He and his wife had been traveling in disguise, intentionally seeking out struggling families for a massive social experiment of the heart. He wanted to see if a hungry person would prioritize their own survival or show compassion to a stranger. And that terrifying letter? Planted by Vijay's own staff to test if Ramu would throw them out of fear. Ramu's family had passed every single secret test with flying colors.
Suddenly, a literal convoy of cars pulls into the muddy village. Vijay's staff steps out and presents a bag. To reward this incredible family, Vijay offers them an unimaginable sum of money, 1 crore rupees, in cash, right there in the courtyard with the entire stunned village watching, including those same neighbors who'd previously refused to help Ramu out with groceries. It's a massive, life-changing moment. But then, plot twist. In a stunning display of unshakable integrity, Ramu looks at the bag of cash, closes it, and rejects the fortune. No way. He looks at Vijay and says, "I sheltered you as a guest of God. I can never accept a price for that humanity." He tells the millionaire that taking the money would completely cheapen the selfless act he offered. He didn't serve them for a reward. He served them because it was simply the right thing to do. Talk about sticking to your principles, right? The outcome of that final choice is just incredible. By rejecting the quick cash payout, Ramu proves that his heart is authentically pure. It literally cannot be bought. This prompts Vijay, who is moved to tears by this point, to offer a far more meaningful and lasting reward. He makes Ramu the dignified, lifelong manager of a brand new school and orphanage being built right there in the village. It comes with a respectable salary, a new home, and the guarantee of little Chotu's entire education. A total game changer. This entire narrative is an absolute masterclass in the ancient cultural philosophy of Atiti Devo Bhava. It literally translates to treating a guest with the exact same reverence you would show to the divine. It emphasizes selfless hospitality regardless of your own poverty or hardship. Ramu and Gauri proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that true wealth isn't found in your bank account, but in the boundless hospitality and resilience of the human spirit. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Ramu faced a relentless storm and chose compassion over self-preservation. When the metaphorical or literal storm comes knocking at your doorstep and you are pushed to your absolute limits, how will you choose to invite humanity in? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep seeking out the extraordinary in the everyday.